Hi guys and girls, Emma again. Welcome back to the spare room. Welcome back to this video you've all been waiting for. I hope it's not too much of an anticlimax. However, I have most of the bits of a coat hanger that works sort of how I wanted it to work. And I'm going to try and put it together on video because the R&D on it has been repeat until we get it right. So this is what it looks like. There's no metalwork involved here at all really, and I apologise for that. If you're looking for an amazing machinist video, this isn't it. It's a bit of fun and I enjoyed doing this, and I'll give you a little bit of background of why I've done it like this. I've always admired automata of various types. If you don't know what automata is, or kinetic sculpture or whatever, go and deep dive the rabbit hole and Google it, because there's some really cool stuff out there that people do, and some really amazing artists that are way more talented than I'll ever be for this sort of thing. I've varnished these, and this is just MDF, and I've put about 10 coats of varnish on them. But because I'd already assembled the prototype, this string was already through the hole. So I've left it be, so I'm just cleaning the varnish off that so it slides. This is the main base, and I started off with, which is a fun collectible item. This is a Hornby Clockwork magic motor. It's in this box with the instructions, and this is the first build for it. Probably at some point I'll pull this out and toss this in the bin and build something else. Probably not a drill press, or maybe I won't, but this was something that I had on the shelf, and I thought, well, let's make something with that. And whether it's temporary, or whether it's just a learning curve, or whether it's actually a permanent installation in my house, I'm not sure. But that was the start of where I was at with inspiration. So I had that, and I thought, well, let's make automata, or something that's motorized when you hang your hook up, when you hang your coat up. That was my thoughts. So this motor has an on-off switch. And it comes with a Meccano key. This shape on the top is how you can tell it's a genuine Meccano key, because that fits the O-gauge track. So if you want to straighten out tin plate track, you use the key. That's what that shape's for. But besides that, this is pretty good, sweet, hardly ever used motor. So we're going to use that. So I thought, well, we'll put that on here like this. Now I've done that, and it's crazy noisy. So I think number one job is to get my Audi O-ring kit out. Find some Audi O-rings. Not particularly sure how good quality the O-rings these are, but it was a cheap kit and I grabbed it, and it gets used for jobs like this. And my thoughts are to use this as a sound deadener. and that's quite considerably better than it was before. So that's mounted that up nice. Next thing we really need is a system of operating this motor. We've got this, and if we put this on here like this, now I just had a fairly rough screw in here to work this, and that's probably plenty good enough just to pivot this. I think it's a bit rough, so I'm going to make a proper post here to hook this spring on. I think that'll be the next job. So quickly made up a little bracket for this. It looks a little bit neater. If we pull the string, the motor starts. So that mechanism works, and reasonably happy with that. Now, next part was a backboard, and I've just made that. It's just 20mm MDF, and I've painted a scene on it that looks like a golf course. But all will become clear very, very quickly. Put 3 little brackets on here, keyhole brackets to fit screws, and this one's just to space it out from the wall. It's got 2 screws here to hold it level, and I'll put them in the wall. And we've got a back plate, so that screws on here like that. There must be 2 of these that look pretty good. And we've got that. So this needs some sort of a mechanism to operate the motor. And I've made this, which is a hinge bracket. We'll put that on here next. And this one on here. Being very careful not to screw this to the table when I put them in, because that's what happened the first time. So that goes on there like that. This part is a hook, and that has a spring behind it. It also has a screw that adjusts the amount of drag we've got here. So we hook this on here and put this spring located in the hole. And we put this pin through. So with a little bit of final adjustment, we can wind this up. This works. Excellent. So that's how that looks. And that's the main coat hanger there. Now, what's next? So, it's got a main pulley here, and this cable here sort of acts as a brake as well, I think, is sort of, I'm not sure whether that's a good thing or not, but that's how it turned out. This spins, and this one spins. I've just got a mammoth belt, or a spring belt that goes on there nicely. when you pull the hook, that all springs and turns like it's supposed to. Pretty much. So there's a gear on here, and I thought, well, why not make a cam to lift this up and down? I'm not sure that's a good idea or not, but it seems to work okay. So these are all 3D printed parts. This is just got 2 brass bushes in it, and these are press fit on a piece of brass rod. So very, very simple. It's got 2 slots to adjust it, and it's got a cam. So if we put that on next, that goes on here like this. With 2 tiny little screws. This we decided needs a little washer under there for a thrust. Gives us enough clearance for that. For that gear. And this of course turns the cam, which lifts this rod up and down. Theory is excellent. Because we've got 2 press fit bushes, which might last for a little while, I might put a little job of super glue on them. We can adjust this backwards and forwards a couple of millimetres and get reasonable mesh with our gears. That might be a fraction tight. That seems to work. Now, that's our mechanism pretty much straight up. So if we put this on here like this, stretch it round, this baseboard goes on top next. And it's got 3 screws to screw it down. And that all is back together and working. So it's quite a machine. It's got that cable there that operates the motor. And if we have a look here, we've got a cam. Which bumps that up and down. And a key to wind it up. Now, next thing we need is a hanger. with a Joyride's written on it, and I've done that. Of course, that can't really be attached permanently. I might get a bit of Velcro for that. But it's got to come off to get this off, and to glue it on this baseboard's a little bit fragile. So I've just, it's on there with a bit of glue tack for a start. So there we go. Next job is to go to the 3D printer. And to print a little arm and a biplane, so that when we So anyway, that's the basic mechanism. Let's hang it up and see how it looks. So there we go. This was designed basically to hang my bag on, because I got a Rains backpack and it doesn't like kicking around on the floor too much. And I wanted to do this for some time, but rather than just put a hook up, this was an awesome opportunity. And there we go. We've got a coat hanger that works. So that's what I've done. Big thanks to Rustinox for this opportunity and for the idea. I've over-engineered this to the extreme. There's no metalwork in it. Just thought everyone might like a look at a fun project that has taken me a little while to do. But that's what we've been keeping a secret, and that's what all the bits are for. And that's how it works. So don't forget to like and subscribe and all that sort of stuff. Go and check out Rustinox. Have a look at the hashtag, which is hashtag CoatHanger2020, and see some other cool videos. And above all, be kind to each other. More soon, guys and girls.